Senator Mitt Romney being booed by fellow Republicans at the Utah GOP convention today. What is your reaction to the former standard bearer of the Republican Party getting booed by his own side?
Pamela, it really is remarkable. As you pointed out, he was the nominee of the Republican Party 8 years ago. Could you imagine President Barack Obama going before a Democratic audience and getting booed? It's as analogous to have Romney, who ran against Obama, be booed. And it just shows that the Republican Party right now has an identity crisis. And anyone who departs from the party line, who even dares to criticize President Trump, is going to be ostracized by a large part of that party.
So let's turn to coronavirus, because that is just horrific. I mean, that is where the story is in so many ways. What is unfolding in India? It is personal for many Americans. I imagine it's personal for you. The U.S. is home to more than 4.5 million people of Indian descent. You sit on the Congressional India Caucus as well as the Progressive Caucus. Your district in the Bay Area includes a large Indian American population. What are you hearing from your constituents?
Well, Pamela, it is personal for me. I have family there. Fortunately, they're safe. But every day I'm hearing stories of someone who is getting COVID, who can't go to the hospital, who is sick. In some cases, we've heard people who passed away a few days because they don't have oxygen, they don't have medical care. It's really devastating. And there's not an Indian American family in my district who I've talked to who isn't affected, who doesn't know someone who has had COVID, who has not been able to get into the hospital. It's a humanitarian crisis.
It's just tragic. I mean, to think about people dying because they don't have enough oxygen. I mean, it's just like you can't even think about it. It's so disturbing. The numbers are also staggering. I want to show our viewers the numbers, the astonishing jump in new cases in India. The blue line on your screen, if we can just show it, more than 400,000 new cases just on Friday. That breaks a global record. Here we go. Here it is. Look at that. The first U.S. shipment of oxygen cylinders, PPE, and other equipment just arrived yesterday. President Biden says it is his, quote, intention to eventually send vaccines to India. They would likely be doses of AstraZeneca once the FDA signs off, but that could be, months in the making. Even Russia is sending its Sputnik vaccine. Do you think the U.S. should be sending Moderna, Pfizer, or J&J right now?
Well, I think we ought to license it. Pamela, first of all, the president deserves credit. He is mobilizing the two most important things, which is oxygen and PPE. I spoke to the ambassador of India, and that's what they most need. And a lot of private companies in the Indian American diaspora is mobilizing to send that. That's the immediate need. But longer term, we ought to require Pfizer and Moderna to license the vaccine recipe so that countries like India can produce it. Right now, they're refusing to license it. This is going to come to a head at the World Trade Organization. Over 100 members of Congress are asking the Biden administration to waive the TRIPS waiver, which would allow for countries around the world to license this vaccine formula and develop the vaccine.
All right, final question for you before we go. As you know, the White House plans new restrictions on travel from India beginning Tuesday. There are exceptions for U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and others. Do you agree with this order?
I do. I think the president has taken the right measure. Some other countries have banned all travel. And I really think we ought to listen to what Dr. Fauci is saying, what the CDC is saying. It's too dangerous right now to have some new variant entered into the United States. So it's the right order, and I fully support the president. And if they need to go further because of CDC recommendations, I would support that.
Congressman Khanna, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.